Every single profitable price action trader that I know, including myself, understands the concept of support and resistance. It is something that's impossible to live without if you plan to be a successful trader. It is the market giving you a roadmap to accurate trading opportunities. And it's something that you must learn in order to accomplish your trading goals or ever become a profitable trader. And I don't just mean the simplistic version of support and resistance. I mean the nuances, the details, the proper ways of spotting key levels that lead to profitable trades. So we're going to go through a simplistic version for anyone who's a beginner on the blackboard here. And after that, we're going to dive into my computer. No, not like a diving board. We're going to jump over to my screen though, and I'm going to share some more nuanced, smaller details and a couple of support and resistance strategies that are profitable and that work in any market. So let's look here. To understand support and resistance, you need to understand there's two different types. The first type that we're going to go over is the trend continuation support and resistance levels. A trend continuation level would be a scenario like this. We have a low to a high that broke previous resistance. Low to a high that broke previous resistance. That means that this resistance level is very likely to become support on the other end. That's the first type. And if this was reversed, which we'll do right over here, this support level here, broken through, what happened when it pulled back? Becomes resistance. That is the trend continuation support and resistance concept. But now let's talk about the counter trend, the second way of spotting support and resistance, which is the counter trend support and resistance. And this would be what that looks like. So we have resistance here. We pushed down from this resistance level. When the market gets back to that level, it is likely to use that level as resistance once more. So those are the simple concepts of resistance, but now I want to dive into actually how to find the most profitable key levels in your trading that can lead to profitable trades. So let's dive into the computer right now. Just kidding, let's jump over onto the screen. I'll see y'all there. Welcome back, traders, and let's go ahead, jump right in and get started. So the concept I talked about before the intro and disclaimer show up time and time again in the markets. Let me just quickly prove that to you. Here we have the pound dollar, and on the pound dollar, what has just happened? We talked about trend continuation levels happening whenever the market breaks through a previous support level, and then it is likely to come back to that support level and use it as what? Resistance. Previously support, comes back through, becomes resistance. And this is actually a part of one of the strategies I'm going to show you guys in just a second. But this is the first concept we talked about. What happened right here on this market? We have a big drop, right? Well, with this big drop, let's look left, excuse me, stumbled on my words. Let's look left and see what was there. Oh my goodness. As I said, time and time again, previous resistance, the market plays around for a bit. When we make it back up to that previous resistance, it becomes resistance. This is exactly like what I was showing you before the intro and disclaimer. The simplistic version of this shows up time and time again, but there's a few different strategies that you can apply to this, a few different techniques that make it wildly profitable and wildly more accurate. And that's what I'm going to show you now, is go through a few of those strategies. So let's jump right in. What I want to see, or what could happen, is this market could push down. If this market does push down, this area is an area I'll look for possible long trades, okay? We're going to start off first here on the euro dollar, and this is where I'm going to teach you the first support and resistance strategy that makes this concept wildly more profitable. And that concept, that strategy, is using this for reversals. Let me explain what I mean by that. Here we have a market, the euro dollar. And what has this market just done? So this market recently was in a massive uptrend, right? But right now what we've done is created a systematic higher highs approach right before creating a lower high and a lower low. This is a 1, 2, 3 move is what I call these. And this move indicates a possible reversal. What am I going to do when I see that reversal? Well, I'm going to look at this previous level of support for possible trend continuation in that reversal, because that's when you can capture the biggest moves. If you're somebody that's looking for enormous profits and you're okay with about a 50% win rate, this is one of the best types of strategies for you to try. And before I get the questions in the comment section, this type of analysis is going to work for any market and for any time frame. So let's go over that one more time. We're looking for possible reversals. How do we spot those? You can use a moving average. This is the 50 period moving average. If the market breaks below that, I look at my previous level of support as resistance for trend continuation to the downside in this case. You can use this 1, 2, 3 move I just taught you. The market creates an impulsive move down as our 1. A pullback is 2. If we break below that low, creating new lower lows, then we have a possible reversal into a downtrend. I don't know if you noticed this. I did the N lowercase because capital N's really confuse me. I know that's weird. I'm slightly dyslexic, and a capital N, I always draw it backwards. So I didn't want to put you through that. But here we are on the euro dollar. And what I want to do now is share with you the analysis moving forward. What am I planning to do based on the concepts you've learned so far in the video? Well, I'm planning, if this market gets back to my zone, to look for possible short trades out of this zone to the downside. This is my exact analysis and exactly what I'm looking for based on the support and resistance reversal strategy you just learned. I'll be looking on smaller time frames. This is strategy number 2. Use a higher time frame to point out your structure levels and look for entry reasons, stops on a smaller time frame, entry reasons and stop losses. So the place where you get out because you know you're wrong, look for that on a smaller time frame. The place you enter the market because you have that perfect entry reason, look for that on a smaller time frame. Find your levels on a higher time frame. So on the euro dollar, my exact analysis here is I'm waiting for that pullback into our perfect zone for our reversal strategy, waiting on an entry reason, and I will be going short on this pair if I get those things, if all those things line up. Now, we did analysis, and we're going to break down the analysis we did last week on all 5 of the top major pairs, all top 5 of the major pairs. Starting with the euro dollar last week, we said that this level could act as support, and it did. From this level, the market came into this zone before completing our 1, 2, 3 and closing above previous support. And when we got into this zone, we had a nice push higher. I'm not going to play a clip of that, but if you'd like to see last week's video, it'll be in the top right-hand corner of the screen. But that's the analysis we had last week. This week, what we're looking at, I've already said, the possible trend continuation from here. If the market continues down or we do get that trend continuation, I'll be looking right here on the euro dollar moving forward into next week for possible long trades. The reason, quite simply, is because this is the most previous level of structure. Get ready for strategy number 3 that's been tested multiple times. So what are the 3 strategies we have so far concerning support and resistance that you can take and use to get some extremely accurate trading opportunities? Well, first off, trade support and resistance in reversal situations. A great way to capture a big move is waiting on a reversal like we see happening now on the euro dollar. Second, look for higher time frame support and resistance levels. Do your trading on lower time frames. And third, make sure if you're looking at counter trend levels, if we get down to this level, will we then be in a downtrend? Yes. If we get down to 1.1447, between that and 1.1391, we will officially be in a downtrend here on the euro dollar. If we're in a downtrend and I'm looking for counter trend support and resistance levels, then I'm looking for levels that were tested and reacted to multiple times, at least twice. And that's what I have here on the euro dollar. So that's why you see this area here. If we somehow continue in this trend and the market does not cooperate with my analysis, then I'll be looking around this area. You can read the numbers for possible short trades on lower time frames, looking for entries. This is another counter trend level. If we look left, it's a major level that's been tested multiple times by price, and our resistance level here you can see tested multiple times as well. And those are the 2 resistance levels I'm looking out for in the weeks ahead for this market to hit. I'll be trading short trades from those 2 counter trend levels. Let's move on now to the pound dollar. And here on the pound dollar, what I'm actually going to do is talk you through this analysis quickly. We had a very similar situation. We just looked at this chart at the beginning, right? The market broke below our previous support level, signaling a possible reversal. And in last week's analysis, I said that if this market broke below that level, I would be looking there for possible short trades. And that if this market got to the level I have my blue box on now, which I can't see the numbers for, I know at the bottom of it is 1.2711 though. I said if the market gets there, I'll be looking for possible long trades on lower time frames. What we're gonna do though, first, before we go down to a lower time frame and look for those entries, and I share that with you guys, is take a look at last week's clip so you know I'm telling the truth. So let's take a look at that and I'll be right back. So now I'm prepared, right? As a trader, as I just told you, the plan is on the pound dollar, me making a plan, preparing, staying ahead of the market, is that if the pound dollar pops out of this zone, I'll wait for a possible entry reason if we pop back into this zone. That's one version of what might happen. Preparing for all these different scenarios is part of being a professional trader. So if the pound dollar pushes down, breaks below this low and closes below this one, then I'll be looking here for possible short trades. And I'll be looking for those short trades until we get down to our next level of major support between 1.278, 1.2711 is an area I'll be looking for possible long trades. Welcome back to this week's video. And so last week, the market was exactly right here when I was making this prediction. Let's see what happens from there. We push down. What do we push down to? Exactly to the zone I said I'll be looking for possible long trades out of. So what did I do? I dropped down to smaller time frames. Here we are on the 4 hour, pushing forward, pushing forward. Let's check the 1 hour. We don't have anything yet. There's not an entry reason that I see. So we'll drop back to the 4 hour. We need to get back down into our zone. And as we push forward here, you can see we do actually get back down into our zone right here. So let's drop down to a lower time frame now and see what we have. Well, we have a possible double bottom setting up. What do I need for double bottoms? Well, I want to see the market telling me that we have a possibility of pushing higher. I want to see that with a green candle. So we have our double bottom. Let's see if we get a green candle. We do. So right here would be my trading opportunity. As I said in last week's video, I'm looking for long trades here. We get this nice double bottom. I would have a stop loss just below my level. Entry right on that green candle. Target back up at previous resistance right below that. Remember, I said if we break below this zone, it's an area I'm looking for possible resistance from. So let's see how the market played out. Messing around a bit and then finally pushing up until eventually maybe hitting our target. So this market pushed up, hit the target quite easily. Although it was a long period of time. If you're a day trader, you probably wouldn't want to wait around for this. But personally, I'm a swing trader, so it was fine to stay in this trade for a couple of days. Now what's happened though? As we said in last week's video, we're looking for long trades from here. And if the market breaks below this, then I'll be looking for possible short trades, trend continuation on that higher time frame using the exact strategy I taught you earlier in the video. And that's what we're looking for here. Let's see about a 4 hour time frame. Not much here yet. Let's go back to the daily. We're up into our zone, back down to the 4 hour, and we'll check and see what happens here. And check out what we have here on the 1 hour. Now, I did not place a trade in this zone because I didn't get an entry reason, but we do have a 1, 2, 3 move followed by a reversal, just like we were talking about the reversal trading strategy using support and resistance from earlier in the video. Let's see what this market did. Bounced back up a few times here until finally pushing down into our zone. And right now, I am actually long on the pound dollar because we are in this zone. The trade is not played out yet. I'll exit out of this. Let me see where this trade is actually. I'll put it back on the screen. I'm obviously a little bit in profit here, but it's based on the same concept. I'm looking for long trades out of this area. I think we could get another bounce since we are in the support area, at least up to our previous resistance level. So now hopefully you can see how big of a role support and resistance and using it correctly plays into profitable trading. Knowing where these key levels are is massively important if you want to become profitable. And that's the reason you need to make sure that you were taking notes during this video. If not, feel free to rewind the video. It's on YouTube. It's absolutely free. Rewatch it a few times. Listen to those 3 strategies because they're strategies that have helped me tremendously through my trading career. They're strategies I teach every member of our paid programs. And right now, if you've enjoyed the video so far, please go ahead, click that like button for me to help out with the YouTube algorithm and hit the subscribe button because we come out with content like this each and every week. Let's continue now though and talk through the rest of the top 5 major pairs. Let me give you guys my ideas on what I'm thinking moving into next week. We're going to dive out to a daily chart. Dive yet again. Just kidding. We're going to dive out here to the daily chart. I'm going to go ahead and remove my position so it doesn't bother me while I'm teaching you. And we're going to take a look at what's expected out of the pound dollar next. So what do we have now? Now we are here floating around in our support level. What's the third step in our process of consistently profitable trading? I talked about this last week in depth. We need to prepare. First, we need to find our levels of structure. We need to have a solid entry reason in those levels that we use time and time again. Then we need to prepare. Right now, I'm already in a trade, but what I want to do is prepare for if this market heads down. So I know what I'm doing if that occurs. To prepare for if this market heads up, so I know what I'm doing if that occurs. And the way I do that is spotting out my new levels. So on the pound dollar, if we move down dramatically, what are the levels I'm going to be paying attention to for possible trades? Well, the one that stands out for me, and I'll go ahead and pull this bad boy down, is right around this area. Let me get out another black line. This is going to be my next zone of possible counter trend. If we get down here, we're in a counter trend reversal levels. Why? Because this level is the previous level of support. Was it tested multiple times? Yes, it was. So that gives me everything I need to use this as a level that's likely to push the market around with extreme accuracy. So, or extreme prejudice, whatever you want to call it. And I'm ready for that now if the pound dollar pushes down. What about if the pound dollar pushes up? Well, I have my zone here that if the pound dollar pushes up, we'll be in a period of consolidation. This will be the highest resistance level. I'll still look for possible short trades out of the level around 1.278. But if we head higher than that, I now have to change my level to right here. You see, we've had a 1, 2, 3 move down and a very impulsive move from this area. So that means if the market pushes up above this area, I'll look for a pullback into it. And a continuation. Does this look a lot like what we were looking at on the blackboard earlier in the video, or what? We're looking at this previous resistance to become possible support. And if that does happen and we continue higher, we'll be looking here for our possible counter trend trades because we have a level of resistance. Here, the market's played around a bit. If we get back up to it, I'll be expecting it to become resistance again. So that's my analysis here on the pound dollar. We'll take a look at how it plays out next week. So stay tuned for that. Be subscribed, hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Aussie dollar, what are we looking at here? Last week, we said this was a possible level of support. And if we got a trading opportunity in this zone, I would be taking it. I did not. Let's drop down to smaller time frames. There was no reason to actually enter this trade, as on the 4-hour chart, we just waterfalled right past this level. With that being the case, I was not ready to get into a trade right here, but just full transparency, for the EAP Training Program, we're actually involved in a trade right now in this level. I'll move out to a daily chart. I did notice that we have a nice level, a little bit lower, looking like here and here, which this market just bounced out of. Since we have had this complete waterfall, I do believe that the Aussie dollar is ready for some type of relief. I think this level of structure would be a great place to have that relief. I'm not looking for a complete reversal in this market to head much higher. I think we're overall going to continue this downtrend, but I do believe I can get a bounce at least up to these previous support levels, and that's the way I'm trading this right now. But in terms of the video we had last week, we just went right through the level. What am I expecting now though? Because again, at this point I have to prepare. What am I going to prepare, or how am I going to prepare? I'm going to prepare by pointing out the key levels I'm going to use for support and resistance. What are those key levels? Well, we just broke below this area here. So the first thing I'll be doing if the market pulls up is taking short trades from this area. If the market breaks past it, I'll be taking long trades from this area. The next thing I'll do if we continue lower is look for possible long trades out of 0.6863 between that and the even handle number of 6,800. If we continue pushing higher even after breaking this level, I'll be looking for resistance around 0.747. And actually, I'm glad you pointed that out. No, did you notice this though? I missed a level. It's right here. If we've had a major push down, a 1, 2, 3 move, and the market's going to play around a bit in here, then if the market gets back to my previous resistance between 0.7412 and 0.7369, I'll be looking there for possible resistance. All right, guys, so right now, if you liked that Blackboard edition at the beginning where I'm teaching you on the chalkboard, then I need you to go over to Instagram and subscribe at the trading channel, because I'm going to be coming out with videos like that 3 times a week on my Instagram stories. Make sure to go check that out. Let's continue on the dollar yen. How did the dollar yen work out from last week? Well, as you can see, last week, these are the zones we pointed out. I said I was looking here for possible support. We got right into that zone, and we got not only possible support, definite support from that area. Let's check out the clip from last week's video, and then we'll come back and talk about what I'm expecting moving forward on the dollar yen. See you in a second. Now I'm prepared for that. If the dollar yen continues down, I'll look here for possible long trades if it breaks through. Okay, guys, so as you can see, this was the level we pointed out and the level that the market has now reacted from in a good way. Let's use our market replay tool. Let's talk about it. Go down to lower time frames and see if we got our entry reason. I'm just saying that for you guys. I know that I did. So we're here in our 4-hour chart, our lower time frame, looking for trades. We get a nice bullish momentum candle, but that's not enough. I need confirmation every time I place a trade. I don't want to be trading just on candlestick patterns. I don't want to be trading just a double bottom. I need that confirmation to tell me the market wants to move higher. So let's continue here on the 4-hour chart. We're pushing down even lower now. Oh no, we get another big momentum green candle, here, but we have no confirmation afterwards, so we continue. We're pushing lower than our zone. We now have a huge momentum candle, okay? Something else that I look for is if we break out of the zone, pull back to it, that's definitely a long trade for me. Let's see what happens here. Now, what do you think we have on a lower time frame? I don't know if your eyes are trained enough to see this, but we have a left shoulder, a right shoulder, and a head. So if I drop down to an hourly chart, you'll see what I saw in this area, which is the market coming into the zone I expected to become support, then creating a left shoulder, then creating a head, then breaking the neckline and creating a right shoulder. So in these zones, I like to trade price action patterns with confirmation. In this specific case, I got a very nice head and shoulders price action pattern with confirmation. Here was my head and shoulders. The confirmation was the next candle being green. So with that being the case, I wanted to go long. Let's see how it played out. Market continues pushing higher and higher. Hitting my targets. I'm already out of this trade, but just wanted to give you a look into why I decided to enter this one and also how to spot out this area. So what am I expecting next here on the dollar yen? Well, very similar to what I was expecting last week, except now I'm not using this area as support. So if the market pushes down, I'll expect it to just continue lower. If we break below this area I just had a long trade from, I'll look at it for possible resistance. If we get down to 102.49 to 101.98, I'll look for possible support. If we break higher, I won't be looking for resistance until this area, maybe around 107. If I get an awesome entry reason, what's the reason I'm looking at 107? At this resistance level here, answer that question for me. Why would I be looking here for possible resistance? Well, it's a major level of resistance that pushed the market down, and the market has played around a lot since hitting it. So if the market gets back up to it, it's likely to use 107, the even handled number, as resistance. So that's what I'm looking for out of the dollar yen. I don't think we have to worry about it, but if we by some chance get up to around 110, then I'll be looking between 109.4 to 110 for possible shorting trades out of the dollar yen throughout the next couple of weeks. Finally, moving on to our last pair before we do, if this has been interesting, again, make sure to click that like button. And also, if you have enjoyed this and you're ready for some more advanced trading, then we do have some spots available in the EAP Training Program. We actually just had a few people graduate. I'll put their testimonials on the screen. And if you are ready to take some more advanced trading, you want to take your trading to the next level and shorten up that learning curve. Look, I'm not saying you can't do it on your own. You absolutely can. There's enough free content out there to create success in trading on your own, but it's much, much more difficult and takes much, much longer to do so versus having a mentor hold your hand step by step, teach you everything you need to know in order to create a profitable trading career. And I get it. I've been at a point in my trading where I was consistently losing money and I had almost no faith that I would ever become profitable. Wouldn't you know it, directly after that, I took a course that talked about backtesting, discipline, risk management, and gave me profitable strategies to use. About 6 months after that, I had my first profitable month as a trader. I know that's what you're looking for, and if you want to speed up that process, you like the way I teach in these videos, and you're ready for some more advanced training, then click the first link in the description labeled EAP, and I look forward to working with you. Otherwise, and even if that is the case, let's continue here on the dollar Swiss. So finally, the last pair we're going to take a look at is the dollar Swiss. On this pair last week, I was pointing out this as being a level of structure I was paying attention to for possible short trades. I actually have a live video I want to show you of me opening a trade in this zone. First, we'll take a look at the analysis from last week, talking about the zone being important. Then I'll show you the live trade I took yesterday that ended up working out well, and we'll come back to this chart and I'll tell you what I'm looking for moving forward on the dollar Swiss. So let's check that video out and I will be right back. My preparation is now, if this market heads higher and gets to my level between 0.9258 and 0.9213, I look for possible short trades. If we break above it and pull back, I look for possible buy trades. If we break above it. What's up, guys? About to enter in this trade on the dollar Swiss. We're on the 15-minute chart. We're seeing this nice double top. I'm going to go out to a higher time frame, give you guys the analysis behind this trade in just a second. On this trade, we're looking at an ATR of 5. I want to at least double that. See what we get. That would only be, that'd be 10 if we go above there. So let's do a little bit more, about a 12 pip stop loss here on this trade. Target down here at the previous level of resistance that should or could turn to support. Let's see how the trade plays out. Go ahead and enter before the market keeps going. Create a new order. It's going to be a sell order at market with a stop loss of 12 pips. A target of around 19, do 20. And I want to be risking about 0.5% on this specific trade. 0.05 is how you do that. Now, let's make sure everything's correct. And it is. We have a 1.5 pip ATR. We have a 1.5 pip spread right now. Let's go ahead and click sell. All right. So this is the way our trade is set up at the moment. We'll see how it plays out, and I'll give you guys the analysis behind it very shortly. See you soon. What's up, traders? As you can see, we're right here on that dollar Swiss trade we took a look at earlier in the video. The only bad part about this trade, it's already hit profit, so I'm about to hit the X button here. We hit, but the spread was too much, so I didn't get filled. I am going to exit this position, but I want to talk to you about the issue here. The issue is that instead of trading with 0.5% in position size, I traded with 0.5%. So with the account size that I have here, this should be about a $640 win, not a $64 win. So that's just one of those trading mistakes that even professional traders do. This was just a fat thumb moment, and I ended up losing out on about $500, $600 because of it. But anyway, nothing you can do about it now. We have already hit profit. So I'm going to go ahead and take these targets off now, and I'll talk to you guys in just a second. So as you could see in that video, the market was below our zone when I was pointing this out as a zone I was looking at for possible resistance to push the market down. Why am I looking here for possible resistance? It is a major level of support that has pushed the market around multiple times, and because of that, I expect it to become resistance if the market's below it, pushing up. And the amazing thing about this multiple time frame approach I taught you earlier, finding your support and resistance on higher time frames, and then finding your entries on smaller time frames, is that even if we don't get a reversal out of this zone on the daily chart, if I'm trading the 1 hour, then I can hit profits. God forbid I'm trading on the 15-minute because I find the perfect setup in this zone. If that's the case, then I can easily hit profits without this market having to reverse. And that's what you saw on the live trade that you just looked at. So what happened was the market was around here, continued up into my zone. Let me drop down to the hourly and try to find this. And actually, I was on the 15-minute whenever I took this trade, or was I? No, I was on the hourly. So on the hourly chart, we had a market that came up into the exact zone I was paying attention to for possible trading opportunities. This was my daily structure level. At my daily structure level, I'm dropping down a couple of time frames to find my entry and to place my stop so that I can get a better risk reward and have a higher chance likelihood of this trade working out. So what happens? Well, we enter into my zone. We get one top followed by a neckline of a double top. We get our second top right here. And what do I need after the double top? Confirmation. What is confirmation? I was waiting on just a red candle. That shows me that the market could be pushing down from this level. Now, this is what I was talking about in terms of stops and targets needing to be much smaller. For stops, the rule that I have is that we just have to be above the highest high of the double top, because at that point we're going into trend continuation. I don't want to be a part of this trade. For double tops, I also have a rule that I need the target to be at the next level I expect trend continuation to happen from. There's no doubt we're in an uptrend here on the 15-minute chart. So if we're going to continue this uptrend, the likely area we continue from, again, using the same concepts of support and resistance you've been learning about this entire video. In trend continuation, where are we likely to continue the trend? If we break previous resistance, it's likely to become the next support, right? So let's see what happens here. As we push forward, had stops and targets set. I had a 1.2 to 1 risk reward back down to our previous resistance, which was perfect for me. I need at least a 1 to 1. Anything above that, I can place the trade according to my trading plan. We push around a bit and a few hours later hit those targets no problem, but check out what happened next. That level of resistance became support. Again, this happens time and time again in the markets, and hopefully now you have a greater understanding of support and resistance levels, not only the simplistic version of support and resistance, but 3 key strategies, 3 key ways to find important levels in the market that can provide you with some extremely accurate trading opportunities. It was a pleasure to have you here today. If you liked the video, make sure to click the like button. It really helps me out. Subscribe if you are new and have not yet to be alerted about some of this extremely valuable content we come out with each and every week. If you're interested in checking out the Blackboard lessons that I'm going to be coming out with 3 days a week over on Instagram, then Instagram's linked in the description as well. If you're ready for some more advanced training and to get a step-by-step course to going from wherever you are to a profitable trading career, then as I said before, we have some space available in the EAP Training Program. That'll be the top link in the description. Otherwise, that's totally fine too. I'm glad I was able to share this information with you. Make sure you're subscribed to continuously get it. And I will talk to you in the next video. This one was a long one. I'll try to make the next video shorter. But anyway, see you guys soon. Peace.